The key to winning every workers' compensation examination is believing your broker is wrong. You've been told to trust the process, reduce claims, and hope that your rate eventually drops. That is why you are overpaying by thousands right now. The owners and GMs who cut their premiums in half don't trust the process. They examine the authority. I'll show you the three broker myths that intentionally leak margin from your P&L. And I'll give you the exact reality check, the actionable blueprint to reclaim that profit. This is the simple change that saves thousands and turns your experience modification rate, or EMR, into a tool of your EHS management strategy. Now, you should note that while I am a professional, I'm not your specific EHS consultant. This video is for educational purposes only, and your use of this information is at your own risk. Please read the full disclaimer on screen. Why should you believe me over the broker that your company has paid for years? Because I've seen firsthand how a dangerous assumption can lead to a policy cancellation threat. Your broker is measured on securing your policy, not on securing your profit margin. I was brought into a manufacturing company where the owner was literally facing a non-renewal threat. The carrier was going to pull their policy in 30 days. The owner assumed that they were covered, believing that their managers had handled it. They assumed that their compliance was in order, but a core safety requirement was completely missing from their administrative framework. Their assumption created a critical safety gap, and more importantly to the broker, a massive financial risk. The lesson for the owner wasn't about compliance. It was about administrative fragmentation. If a critical safety component is completely missing and threatens a non-renewal, how many other silent financial errors are hiding in your EMR, silently leaking your profit margin? This is the hidden margin leakage that comes from a breakdown in an EHS management system. Now, before we dive into the next set of goodies on this topic, I need to give you the one tool that makes auditing for these overlooked profit eaters possible. That tool is the hidden margin leakage scorecard. It's designed specifically for owners and GMs to quickly audit where your business is vulnerable to these hidden costs. It's free, and the link to download the scorecard is right in the description below. Go grab it now. Okay, let's get back to the video. Wait, stop right there. If you only watch 1 minute of this video, it needs to be the next 60 seconds. This is where the thousands in your insurance premium hide. The most financially damaging lie that your broker tells you is this: just reduce your claims and your rate will eventually fall. That is completely false, because the EMR formula cares more about an ancient open claim than a new minor one. The real enemy is the reserve amount. When a claim settles for $3,000, but the adjuster just forgets to update the paperwork, there might be a $25,000 reserve still on your record. The insurance system sees that $25,000 as a potential future cost, and you, the owner, are charged for it today. That moment of realization that you've been paying a surcharge for a cost that never happened, that's the margin leakage. But how often do these reserves go uncorrected? And what if the mistake isn't an old claim, but the one thing you trust your administrative team to get right? That's our next myth. Let's be vulnerable for a second. I know you're exhausted managing the administrative side of environmental health and safety, or EHS. I've felt that stress of trying to manage compliance across multiple teams. And the carrier leverages that exhaustion. The second myth is that your carrier or broker handles the paperwork and you just pay the bill. The reality is, administrative fatigue can create the biggest error source: payroll classification. Your EMR is calculated based on risk codes, and high risk codes like welding or work at heights can cost dramatically more than the low risk codes like office administration. Your payroll or HR team, if they accidentally lump five high salary employees who only spend a small fraction of their time in high risk duties under the wrong code, you're overpaying on salaries that you don't need to insure at that rate. This mistake is not malicious, it's just fragmentation across departments. That feeling of, holy cow, our payroll team handles that and they don't even know what a risk code is the exact moment you realize this is a systemic EHS problem. It's not an insurance issue. Now, we know about bad reserves and bad codes, but what if one request could determine whether a single minor injury costs you thousands or costs you zero? Listen closely. This is the myth that costs you the conversation. The third myth is your EMR is a fixed number. You can't challenge it. The broker represents the EMR calculation as an objective fact. Here's the problem. That number is based on human inputs, and it is negotiable through subrogation, the process where your carrier recoups costs from the third party that caused the injury, like a vendor or a delivery driver. If a $50,000 claim wasn't your fault, but your carrier failed to pursue the recovery, that $50,000 penalizes your EMR. The solution? You have the authority to request the subrogation records. When you realize that the fix is simply requesting a document that proves the broker did their job, you regain control. We've exposed the three biggest lies, but exposing them is completely worthless without the blueprint. So let's pivot and build your EMR reality check. Forget the theory. You're going to want to open your browser right now and request this document. The first piece of your reality check is this: addressing the reserve lie. Your action: immediately request your loss run report. Look for the reserve amount column. Your core value move as an owner or GM is to target any claim 3 years or older that has a reserve 10 times higher than the amount actually paid. This is an ultimate red flag. Write a formal letter to the carrier demanding they justify or close that old inflated reserve. This is the ultimate I'm in control moment. You realize the power isn't in waiting for a renewal. It's in a formal letter that you can draft today. Finding the reserve error is great, but how do you fix the classification problem permanently so you stop overpaying on every single paycheck? Are you thinking, hold on now, I couldn't be paying the wrong rate? Well, we're going to fix the classification lie that's got you in doubt. Here's your problem. Carriers assign payroll codes based on general classifications, but your actual job duties likely cross risk boundaries. This leads to massive overpayment because high risk codes cost significantly more. Your solution? Take action by conducting a simple duty review. Get your payroll audit report and map every employee's primary function to the correct classification code. Then you, as the owner or GM, can confirm that the payroll department is not simply placing employees under one high-risk code, but accurately assigning a suitable employee classification based on their day-to-day duties. This is a pure administrative correction, not a safety program overhaul. This can be a huge realization for a top leader, Correcting this creates immediate permanent savings on every single future premium payment. It's a simple admin fix that acts like a perpetual profit increase. The margin is recovered on every paycheck. Now, we've uncovered the financial fixes, but the real margin leakage comes from the fact that you can fix all of this today and it can still break next year unless you implement one crucial systemic step. Focus now, because you don't want to miss this. We're correcting the misinformation that the EMR is a fixed number. Your action: implement a swift claim closure protocol. For you as an owner or GM, this means focusing on your return to work programs and closing out small claims quickly. Claims that stay open longer than necessary increase the reserve and maximize the penalty to your EMR. Your priority is to ensure managers and HR are equipped to get employees back to work in a modified capacity immediately. This closes the claim faster and drastically reduces the financial impact. You'll breathe a sigh of relief once you see that you don't have to wait years for your rate to drop. You can actively manage the claim closure speed to generate faster EMR reduction and prevent margin leakage on the front end. Now, let's wrap up with a bonus holistic strategy to prevent problems like these throughout your operation. Hold on. This is the most valuable part. You just fixed the EMR, but you'll likely still have problems next year. Why? We've exposed the broker lies and addressed the reserves, payroll codes, and phantom fixed EMRs. But those aren't the root cause. They're the symptoms of a fragmented EHS management system. Your EHS finance and operations departments are not sharing critical data. The blueprint I shared narrowly focuses on a piece of your administrative health. To get permanent control over your profit margin, you must integrate these operational, financial, and EHS functions so a simple administrative error can never threaten your bottom line again. The simple change that saves thousands is a systemic one. If you're ready to take these types of threats seriously, you need the tool to start. The free hidden margin leakage scorecard is available in the description below. Get it now. You now know that targeted action beats complacency when reviewing the EMR. But what if I told you that unawareness is why most small businesses are still dramatically exposed to financial and reputational damage during the worst case scenarios? You can fix your EMR today and fail to survive a catastrophic event tomorrow. The vulnerability in your manufacturing facility doesn't come only from your EMR. It can stem from the emergency secrets that you don't even know exist. That is the next crucial piece of EHS management strategy you need to implement. Click this video now and let's uncover the 5 emergency safety secrets your small business can't survive without.